Hi, lovely witch. Today we're going to talk about a pretty common question I see. How do you know your spells are working, and what should you do if your spell isn't working? Hi, lovely witch. My name is Rosa. I'm the Divine Feminine Witch, and I help witches feel empowered through working with the goddess. And today we're bringing it a little back to basics. What are some signs that your spells are working, and what do you do if your spells are not working? We're going to be going over some tips, and this is based off of my practice. I am an intuitive witch. I do not follow a specific structure. I pretty much just let my intuition guide me. I do work with the planetary alignments, with astrology, with herbs, crystals. My favorite go-to type of spells are fire related because I am ruled by Mars. I am also a Gemini, which means that I love to write. So yeah, that should give you some perspective on the types of spells that I like to do. Regardless of that, I'm going to try and make this as broad of an explanation. We're going to be going over not necessarily specific types of spells, but more so what you should do in order to make your spells more successful. Before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. I'm going to be breaking this down into, I believe, two parts. The first part, we're going to be talking about signs that your spells are successful or that your goal is going to manifest. And that's going to be broken down into internal signs and external signs. And then from there, we're going to be going into what you should do if your spell is not successful. That part is going to be broken down into 4 general categories of tips. Hopefully that makes sense. I will timestamp the entire thing, do not worry. So hopefully you find this helpful. So let's get started. What are some signs to look out for that will tell you that your spell will manifest? As far as the internal signs, one I feel tends to happen pretty much right after your spell is your intuition will heighten. Your inner knowing will just heighten. You will feel more connected to your intuition. It'll be like a strong psychic, energetic sense, basically. Or you might feel an increase in energy and focus, especially regarding the topic of your goal. Now, this part might not happen right after your spell, especially because usually we use a lot of energy when we are doing spell work. So after the spell, you might feel a little drained, you might feel a little tired. The next day, though, you might feel like you wake up with so much more energy and so much more enthusiasm to start doing the mundane things that are going to help your spell manifest. Another internal sign is emotional shifts. I feel like this goes hand in hand with the energetic change. You may experience a sense of positivity and more hopefulness and just more enthusiasm as you wake up. That's what's going to give you the energy to go after what you are trying to manifest. You may also have a feeling of certainty that you just know that your spell is going to manifest. It's like a sense of conviction that you're going to be successful, even if you don't see concrete evidence yet. Aside from internal signs, you will see external signs. This may include synchronicities or coincidences. You might encounter unexpected events, people, or symbols that coincide with the intention of your spell. This could be seeing things or hearing conversations that kind of are associated with your intention or remind you of the purpose of your spell. And it's just happenstance. It's not something that you intentionally went to seek out. It just happens to come up in social media or daily life. Like, say for example, you did a road opener spell and then the next day you see the number 888. This could be a sign from the universe that your spell is going to manifest, that you are going to have success and the roads will open for you. Another external sign, or you may think it's an internal sign, but dreams and visions. You might have vivid dreams or visions that offer insight or guidance related to your spell. Another thing that can happen is unexpected opportunities. You might experience opportunities that you didn't intentionally make happen, or things will just pop up that lead you closer to your goal. Sometimes you might even experience physical sensations. This might feel like tingling or warmth or a sense of energy just flowing through you. And all of these internal and external signs can happen either the next day or in the next following days or weeks even. That being said, if you have casted a spell to get a new job within the next couple of months and you still haven't seen results, and it's been maybe 4 months now and you're still not seeing results, then what do you do if your spell is not working? There are so many factors that could play into your spell not manifesting. Your mental and emotional state are a big part of why your spell might not be working. You need clarity and focus. Make it a clear goal so that you can focus on it. For some people, it helps them to either draw a picture or print out a picture of something that'll help them focus on their goal. Me personally, I like to write out a phrase and I will just keep repeating that phrase over and over again, like a chant, basically. And as I am chanting, it helps me focus. Could also even play a specific song just on repeat, or you could create an entire playlist. I think music can be a great way to help you focus. Ensure that you are calm and in a clear state of mind. Avoid doing rituals when you are emotional or overwhelmed or feeling negative, unless you are doing baneful work. In my opinion, anger, frustration, and sadness are really great energy sources for performing baneful magic. But if you are trying to get a job, and I'm going to keep using that example for the rest of this video, just so you know, if you are trying to manifest a job, then maybe being angry about your current situation might not be the best energy to bring into manifesting a new job. Belief and intention are super important. You have to believe in the power of your spell, in the power within you and your ability to manifest. You just have to believe that you can do it. Doubt can be a significant obstacle. And when you are doing this spell, and another important part about the mental is you have to visualize and speak as if it's already happening. You have to bring it into the present tense. If you're trying to manifest a new job, you want to say the emotions that you feel, how grateful you are to the universe, and how happy you are that you have this new job, that you are so ecstatic to be working in this new environment with XYZ. You want to visualize it as if it were already happening. Aside from the mental and emotional, you have to look at your ritual execution. You want to ensure that you are incorporating all necessary elements of a spell. In my opinion, there are 5 main things that you need present in your spell. You need representation. This is who the spell is for. If it is for you, you being there is enough of a representation sometimes, but you can also include your tag locks. That includes your hair, nails, saliva, blood even. I would be very careful if you're a beginner when it comes to blood magic, but we can get into that in another video. You need correspondences. So this is your ingredients. Are you going to be using herbs? Are you going to be using candles, water, crystals, oils, or just pen and paper? You could even use a specific color of pen to correspond with your intention. Green can be great for money and success and getting a new job. You need activation. You need to not only have your ingredients, but also tell them what they are doing in the spell. You need to make sure that you are focused on your intention the entire time. And so telling your ingredients, literally verbally, or just in your mind, telling the ingredient what its purpose is in this spell. You need a conduit to deliver the energy. You yourself can be the conduit, but it will be very tiring if you are only getting energy from yourself. You can get energy from the earth by doing a grounding technique before your spell. And you need tethering so that the spell can continue to be amplified, to have more energy, basically. It needs like an anchor. So again, the grounding technique works, but you also need possibly fire, or you need air element, or you need water element. You need to include some kind of element in there that is external energy outside of you, that is going to continue giving energy to this purpose until it manifests. So it really depends on the type of spell that you do. I don't want to get too specific into the different types of tethering. Maybe we can do that in another video. I do also have a video already on how to create your own spells that I feel like might be able to help you understand how to create a successful spell. Make sure you have one request per spell. I bring this up now because ever since I've started providing spell work as a service, I noticed that some people want multiple goals for one spell that they've ordered. And that does not work. You cannot have multiple goals. Yes, you can be very specific and put a bunch of details to that one goal, but not several different goals with this one spell. If you are doing a spell to manifest a new job, you aren't also going to add in there that you are also going to get a new car from this job. Obviously, eventually over time, be able to have enough money from this new job to get the car, but those are two separate spells. Hopefully that makes sense. Just avoid trying to pack too many intentions into one spell. This can dilute the energy or confuse the spell. Create a sacred space. Make sure you have a space where the energy is aligned with what you are trying to manifest. If you do not have an altar, you can create an altar. That would be your sacred space. You do not need an altar though. You can have just a designated area where you go and do spell work. You can also cast a circle to create a sacred space. I personally don't cast circles, but I know that that does help some people. Once you have your sacred space, make sure that you also cleanse. It's super important to cleanse the energy. You do not want to have stagnant or negative energy in your area. Cleansing will also help you align your energy. And that brings me to my next point, energy raising. You also have to make sure that you take a moment before you start your spell work to align your energy, ground it, and raise it. I do have a video all on energy work where I also include my personal techniques, so feel free to check that out after this. But energy is important. That's what fuels your spell. The timing of your spell can also play a key component. Consider the moon phases or planetary influence. You can simply Google the different planetary days. I personally, when I was trying to get familiar with it, I would literally write down the planets next to each day on my calendar, and that would help me remember which energy was appropriate for each day. But you also want to consider what time of day you have the best energy to work with. For some people, that could be first thing in the morning. Definitely not me. I work best once the sun has set, but I also get super sleepy pretty quickly, so I have to make sure that it is pretty much as soon as the sun is setting. If it's 10 p.m., I'm probably not going to start a spell then. Patience is important. Sometimes spells take time to manifest. If you created a spell to get a job within the next couple of months, then don't expect the job to just appear the next day. I mean, maybe that might happen for you, and that is great. But if it is taking some weeks and you haven't seen results yet, be patient. Keep in mind that you gave the universe that wiggle room. So now be patient, because if you're not patient, then self-doubt is going to come into play, and then it's going to affect the outcome of your spell. You have to consider the time frame. Sometimes spells can take time and the results may not be immediate. immediate, especially if you didn't give it a specific time frame. If you didn't say that you are trying to manifest a new job within a month, then maybe you might not manifest a new job until 2 years from now. It's a little difficult with things like that. You don't want to be too specific. You have to give the universe some wiggle room to make your spells happen. But if you don't give them any time frame, then who knows when it can happen? Time is a human construct, so the universe doesn't necessarily understand and will vary when it makes your goals happen for you. You also have to consider environmental factors. The people you surround yourself with and your general environment can affect the spell. This is also going back to creating a sacred space. Make sure that there's nobody in your sacred space so that it is only your energy that is there. But this is also something you want to consider in your mundane life afterwards. You don't want to have somebody who doubts your potential to get a new job talking your ear off, especially the day after you just created a spell to get a new job. This is where boundaries come into play. And if you've already considered all of these other factors into why your spell may not be working, then you can seek guidance. If you are struggling, then consider talking to another practitioner, several other practitioners. Get several opinions on why your spell may not be manifesting. It's always great to talk to other people. You can even just message people on social media, or you can go to a metaphysical shop and talk to people who work there. People who work at metaphysical shops are also witchy people, so maybe they can help you understand what might be causing you to struggle. And then another super important thing is self-reflection. You need to take a moment to think about what might be causing this blockage. What might be stopping you from manifesting this thing? Are you doing the right steps in the mundane to make this happen for you? Because you can't just send a goal out into the universe and hope that the universe is just going to magically make it all happen for you. I mean, it might sometimes, but very few times that actually happens. But you kind of also have to show the universe that you are working towards this goal. And what the universe is going to do is it's going to make it so that it's easier for that goal to be achievable for you. There also might be something internally blocking you. And that's going to require shadow work. That's going to require reflection and releasing and learning how to change your mentality, essentially. I do have a video on shadow work. I have a blog post on shadow work, actually 2 blog posts now on shadow work. So feel free to check those out. Hopefully that can help you release blockages and change your mindset in order to make your goal more achievable. All right, that is all I have for you today. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if you want me to expand on anything. Hopefully this was helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications, and share this with someone you think might benefit from it. I hope your spells are successful. Have a blessed day, lovely witch.